history of the theatre organ goes back to the 19th century, when British telegraph engineer Robert Hope Jones applied electricity to the task of playing a pipe organ for the first time, much to the horror of the builders of the time. In the early 1900s, he went to America and, in partnership with the Rudolph Whirlitzer Company, developed his ideas to the point where Whirlitzer went around the theatres in America selling the Whirlitzer theatre organ as a replacement for the often large orchestras that were accompanying silent films in the picture theatres and picture palaces of America at the time. But the talking pictures arrived in 1927, and almost overnight, although it did take longer, the theatre organ fell out of favour. Some were abandoned, some were burnt, some went down with theatres, and some survived. In the case of the Capri group here, it was the Theatre Organ Society of South Australia. It was formed in about 1969. In the middle 1970s, this division, having already owned an organ, was looking for a larger one. And they found the basis of this instrument in a house in Darwin in the Northern Territory. The owner of the house and the organ had bought the basis of this organ from an organist in Sydney who had had this instrument in his house. The Darwin buyer bought a double-decker bus, put the organ in the double-decker bus and drove it to Darwin. The organ never played in Darwin because of the effects of tropical weather. And an approach was made, and he agreed to sell the instrument to the South Australian division here, and the organ was removed through before Cyclone Tracy devastated Darwin. The organ stayed in storage, being refurbished here in Adelaide, and looking for a home, the opportunity came to buy the Capri Theatre. It's greatly valued by everyone here, and it is currently the second largest theatre organ in the Southern Hemisphere. It's in constant use, and we are very, very proud to be owners of this wonderful, wonderful instrument, and in fact the theatre in which it lives.